This is a game from the candidates tournament for the women for the World Championship. I thought we'd just go ahead and check a few of these out, at least the decisive games. So let's go ahead and meet the players. Tell you a little bit about each of these ladies here, and we'll watch the game and we'll see who we think is gonna win. So Anna here, so the lady on the bottom, she's from the Ukraine. She's been playing for the Ukraine. She's the four-time speed chess world champion. She also is one of only four women to achieve the live rating of over 2,600. There's only been four women in the world that have done that. I'm not sure how to say her name there. Maybe one of you would be brave enough to say this name for me. So Cheryl, what is her name?
Ting.
Okay, Lei Ting. I appreciate it. Yeah, I want to be able to say it correctly. Yeah, most powerful women in the world as far as chess is concerned. That's kind of my arena is chess, so I would like to be able to say her name.
Ting.
So if I say Lei Ting, not too many people are going to get mad at me. Okay. She has won the Moscow Open. She has some other accolades to her name. Anyway, these two women are facing off, and they're playing in order to play to be the world's women's world champion. Currently, this lady here, Jun Wenjun of China. Anyway, this woman here, she is currently the world champion, and the ladies that we are looking at now, they are playing for the right to challenge her for the world championship. We're going to go ahead and just go right into the game here. We're looking at it from Black's perspective because, well, Anna is playing this in a way that I would play. So so d4 is played by Li Ting, and Anna goes with so knight to f3, which is the King's Indian game. Like I said, a move that I favor. And now we have pawn to c4. So we had pawn to g6 by Anna. So white plays knight to c3 here. So of course we're supposed to be attacking the center of the board, developing our pieces efficiently. I normally would play pawn or bishop to g7 almost right away here, but that's not what Anna plays. She instead plays pawn to d5, attacking the center right away. These are, by the way, book moves. These are moves that masters have played many times. They're known to be very solid, so we can learn from these games. You know, these are ways that you can play. And at this point, you know, this sort of opening has been played, you know, hundreds of thousands of times in master level play. Anyway, now white goes ahead and captures. We have pawn captures on d5. Anna captures back with her knight, so knight captures on d5. And now white plays pawn to e4, kicking the knight. And Anna elects to go ahead and capture. Pawn captures back on c3. And now finally we have bishop to g7. And still at this point, 87,000 games have been played to this variation. So this is like a lot of grandmasters and stuff like that will actually memorize this. And these ladies may have actually, you know, so yeah, they may have actually memorized most of this. And we're, you know, I guess we're only 7 moves in, but still, um, depending on what, you know, there's so many possibilities of what your opponent can do. It's difficult to know what all to memorize. Anyways, Lee plays queen to a4 now, and this is not a super common move in the position. It was the 7th most popular move. Ukrainian grandmaster. So again, Anna was rated as high as 26, like 2606. She's one of only 4 women in the world. So playing black, Anna. One of only 4 women in the world to achieve a rating of 2600. She finds the best move here in the position, moving the knight to d7, which, you know, in general is a little bit awkward because it does block the bishop. But as I said, this is the best move. She's losing a tempo here, basically, because, yeah, she's going to obviously have to move the knight again to get the bishop free, but she's going to be able to attack the queen at the same time. So obviously she has to castle first. The Chinese grandmaster goes ahead and plays knight to f3 now. And Anna does, in fact, castle. Castle's kingside. The Chinese grandmaster brings her bishop to e2. The engine is suggesting just go ahead and playing this move. So this move is fine. Bishop e2 is fine, but maybe bishop here. I kind of sympathize with Lee here. I would want to be getting closer to castling since my opponent is castled. So, the computer can calculate precise lines and thinks this is safe. Both moves are good. I'm gonna go with the one that gets me a little closer to being castled, unless I see some sort of tactics. Anyway, now we see that tempo gain back with knight to b6. Of course, white has to reposition the queen, and queen to b4 is a solid way to go. Although it would have been okay, actually, just to bring it back to the starting square. A lot of times when your queen is attacked early in the game, it might be a good idea to bring it back. Lee's move was fantastic here. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that you do have the option of going back a lot of times, and that's still a strong move. It's not like undeveloping a piece. Anna, the Ukrainian grandmaster, goes with queen to d6, perhaps offering a trade if the player wants to draw. By the way, these ladies... I'm not sure how many games they had to play against each other. I think they played like 4 or 5 games. All the other games were draws. So they got draw. And this game is decisive. This is why I picked this one, because it's the only game that these two ladies played against each other where somebody actually won the game. So I'll give you that much information. This is the strongest move in the position, although bishop to g4 is also a good idea, of course, just getting the bishop into the game. The Chinese grandmaster goes ahead and castles here. Anna plays bishop to g4. The computer actually suggesting that just capturing the queen would be the best for black. And I think that's just looking for another draw then. So, Anna is, like I said, one of only 4 women to achieve a 2600 rating. She's a monster on the chessboard. She's not looking for a draw here. She wants a win. So Anna doesn't want to go for the queen trade, and neither does Lee. Lee goes ahead and plays queen back b3 now. And now Anna brings her bishop back to e6, attacking the queen, but this is the best move in the position. I guess it just kind of gets white to maybe overextend their pawn structure. I'm not sure why. So the computer says this is the best move, and I might not have played it myself because of the move that Lee plays. Lee just goes ahead and plays pawn to d5, and of course you've got to move that bishop again. Of course the bishop has to be moved back, and just moves it right back to where it was before, and this is the best move in the position. So okay, the bishop is just dancing around. And now the bishop has to move again as Lee plays pawn to h3, and the best move in the position, just go ahead and take the knight. So the bishop has had his fun dancing around all over the place, but now bishop captures on f3, and of course bishop captures back on f3, as you don't want to mess up your pawn structure around your king. That's really the only reasonable way to play that. And these were all top moves, very top engine moves. Stockfish, like a 3,500 rating, saying these are all the strongest moves that can be played. And now we have pawn to c6 by the Ukrainian grandmaster, and this is definitely a good move. Although, repositioning the knight here, that would also be good. There's a couple of spots where the knight might be more effective, kind of get closer to your opponent's king. But this is a fine move. Nothing wrong with pawn to c6. Lee brings her bishop to attack the queen from a3. So bishop a3. The queen drops back to c2. That's the best square for Anna's queen. And now we have kind of an awkward move as far as I think. She plays rook a to e1 here, and so it's like kind of making that rook useless. I guess you don't have to worry about a light squared bishop coming in here and attacking or anything, so maybe it's okay as long as you're planning on moving the rook again quickly. The engine actually suggests instead rook to c2, which makes a lot more sense to me. That pawn could use some support as he's isolated, and maybe you can throw him at your defender or at your opponent. But that's not what it played. Lee plays rook to e1 here, and now the Ukrainian grandmaster does capture on d5. We have c captures d5, we have E captures on D5, pawns capturing both ways there. That was the best response for white. And now Anna plays bishop to F6. And now we do see that rook lift, So I was saying this move was suspect unless you're going to be lifting your rook pretty quickly. And well, she does. She does lift her rook to E4 here. The engine actually suggesting that, she should have probably pushed the pawn first here, as well, there are two attackers on this pawn. Perhaps it's a good idea to go ahead and capture. Anna doesn't capture right away. She actually moves her rook over so the rook from F to C1, or excuse me, that is C8. Bishop to G4, attacking the rook. So the rook has to move back to D8. So rook to D8 by Anna. So again, it seems like the moves are not super efficient. I'm not sure. It seems like we should have grabbed this pawn here a bit earlier, but let's go ahead and continue. We have pawn to C4 here. This is the best move in the position. Now the pawn is safe and it's defending its buddy there. And Anna plays the strongest move in the position. So the Ukrainian master plays pawn to H5, attacking the bishop. The bishop has to reposition, goes to E2. And now we have rook A to C8 by the Ukrainian grandmaster. The engine is suggesting that we maybe should have moved the knight here and repositioned, gaining a tempo on the rook. That's not what happened on the board. Now the Chinese grandmaster plays rook to E1, and Anna lifts her rook to D7. We have rook D7, pawn to G4 by the Chinese grandmaster, and Anna finds the best response, just playing H4. Doesn't want to tear open the king side just yet. And now white plays queen to E3. This is the best move in the position, and Anna finds the strongest response, pawn to E5. So I just start feeling a little bit nervous with my castles in this position. They're pretty airy, but this is the strongest move, pawn to G5. And now the Chinese grandmaster plays bishop to D3, knight to A4. Bit of an odd move. That it would have been maybe better to get the king off the back rank here, but this is not too much worse. Black is in some trouble at this point. You might be able to see that the evaluation bar is swinging to white's favor, even though on the board the material's even. Black's pieces are just not well coordinated, and if white plays precisely, she should be able to punish black. I'm not a fan of this move. Again, the knight should have been repositioned probably. It should have headed over to here earlier, many moves ago. We have bishop captures on E7 as there is a huge army attacking that square. She did have 4 attackers and there's really only 3 defenders here. And so bishop captures on H7. We have bishop captures on E7, rook captures on E7, rook captures on E7 once again by white, queen captures on E7 by black, and now we have queen captures on E7 by white, and now we have bishop captures E7 by the Ukrainian grandmaster, and finally we have rook captures E7 by white. A massive amount of trading there by both players. So, perhaps, black was hoping for some sort of draw there. Well, actually, it was white that initiated that trade sequence. But again, black's pieces just kind of are lame. They're not very well organized. So this is going to be a very difficult position. The knight finally jumps to a decent square on C5. Black plays knight to C5. And bishop to F5, the best move in the position by Lee. And now we have king attacks rook. So king to F8, kind of a in-between move, or a Zwitzenzug. She grabs the pawn on F7. So like, well, we're going to trade rooks, right? Okay, fine. You take my rook, I take yours. But I'm going to grab this pawn as well. Definitely the best move in the definitely a good way to simplify. It might have actually been better just to grab the pawn instead of capturing the pawn. A better move would have been to capture here, which bishop captures. Now we have connected, unobstructed pass pawns there. So that's why that would have been a better way to go. That's not what happened in the game, though. Instead, she captures what, it seems like a great move. She captures on f7. Of course, we have king captures back. Best move that can be played by black. And then bishop captures on c8, of course. And now you got to save the pawns. We have pawn to b6. We have bishop back to f5 by the Chinese grandmaster, and now we have king to f6. Kings are now the most powerful pieces on the board. You better get them active. Looks like black's got a lead in that respect. The trouble is this pass pawn here is really difficult to deal with. You can't go running down the board. Because the knight doesn't really want to sacrifice itself for the pawn there. So that is a problem. And now white actually does advance the pawn, just showing black that there's going to be problems. And we have knight back to b7, attacking the pawn. And of course, pawn to d7 played here, best move in the position. And Anna moves her king back to e7. And now we have pawn to f4 by the Chinese grandmaster. And Anna captures back, g captures f4. Now we have king to f2, activating her king is Li, and knight back to d6 now, and Li moves her king up. So again, you got to get those kings active. She moves her king up to f3, and we have knight captures c4, and king captures f4 for white. And then Anna moves her knight back, maybe thinking about trading the knight for the bishop, although there's going to be a problem here with these pawns. If she does that, she can't exactly just trade there. Li just goes ahead and advances the pawn to g5, and Anna moves her knight back to b7. Not a lot to be done in this position. In fact, white grabs the opposition here, and what are you going to do here? Actually, you can see the symbol here. White wins the game. So Anna resigned the game here, so it will be Li who goes on to the next round. Well, actually, I think we can go to events, and Women's FIDE Candidates Tournament, and here, we can see. So we're waiting for this game, which is going to be played here shortly, within the next few days, maybe week. These two are going to play each other a game, and whoever wins out of those two will then face Li in this next round, and then whoever wins out of that will then face the world champion. Thank you for joining me for that. I'm going to cover all the decisive games from here on out for the Women's World Championship, of course, including the World Championship match. So please like and subscribe if you're into chess, of course, because I'm going to be posting tactics, game reviews every day. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye-bye.